Story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing.
Good morning and welcome to Storytime. Thank you for joining me. Welcome, welcome. Happy Thursday to you and your loved ones, and wherever you're joining us from, I wish you're well. I hope you're well. Thank you for joining in. And as always, I appreciate the time that you spent with us on Storytime, taking that moment to be with us here, to read a book together. Thank you for being here, and I hope you look forward to this book that we have today. It is an amazing one, The Yuckiest Lunch Box. Join in and find out what this one is all about. And this one is written by Debbie Min and illustrated by WAFIQ. Good morning to you and welcome. Please let me know, as always, where you're joining in from and who is joining in with you. Thank you for being here. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on what part of the world you are. Thank you so much for joining in and welcome. I hope definitely, keeping thoughts for those people in the Pacific Northwest. I hope the temperatures are coming down and they are feeling a little cooler, a lot better. So thank you so much for joining in. And of course, spare a thought out there. If you can help materially, if you can help financially, or, with your time, please think of ways that you can be helpful in your community. Thank you so much for joining in and good morning to you. Yes, Auckland today is lovely. It is cloudy, but I think it's still a nice day out. Warm, beautiful day for a walk indeed. Thank you so much for joining in. Good morning to you. And of course, a big thank you to Debbie Min for sending us this wonderful book and allowing us to share it right here on Storytime. Good morning to you and welcome. Let us see who is with us this morning and ready to enjoy this beautiful story together. How are you doing, Amanda? Good to see you as always. And Sarah and Nathan out in Illinois, good morning to you and welcome to Storytime. Thank you for being here. Happy July. Yes, indeed. And right back at you. Happy July. I hope it is a beautiful one. Enjoy the rest of your summer. Thank you so much for being here, Amanda West. And of course, Sarah and Nathan, good morning to you. Out in Florida, Betty Graydon, how are you doing? Good morning to you and welcome, welcome, welcome. Always a pleasure to see you here. Thank you so much for joining in. Betty Graydon in Florida. Thank you so much. Zinnia, how are you doing today? Thank you so much for joining in. Yes, and good morning to you and the rest of the BOP team. Thank you so much for being here. Absolutely appreciate you. And of course, a big shout out as well to Aiken Woodland, your home school. Thank you so much for being here. Good morning to you, Zinnia. Good morning to you, Yael. And of course, good morning to you, Jacqueline, as well. I hope you're joining in and enjoying the story as it comes. Thank you so much for being here. Good morning to you. Good morning to you, Amanda. How are you doing? As always, a pleasure to have you here. Big hug to you. And of course, baby B and Nate, loving it that you're here. Good morning to you. I am excited for today's story as well. Thank you so much for joining in, Nate. Always a pleasure seeing you here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And of course, Marlon, good morning to you. And I hope you see this later on. Thank you so much for being here. Good morning. And of course, how do I forget? I hope you are doing well. Grandpa Dennis and, of course, Grandma Cindy. Love you, love you, love you. And thank you so much for joining in Story Time today. I hope you will enjoy this lovely book that we have for you today, The Yuckiest Lunch Box. Join in and enjoy. Thank you for being here. Good morning to you one more time. How are you doing, Zinnia? Your writing group is excited to hear the story. Well, I am glad. It is a beautiful story indeed. Debbie Min, and of course, illustrations by WAFIQ SEHAT. Beautiful, beautiful book indeed. I hope you enjoy it. Good morning to you, Danny Rodriguez, and of course, Louise, Leslie, and Isabella right here in Oakland. Thank you so much for joining in. And of course, Emerson representing right here. Good morning to you and welcome. In sunny Chicago, how are you doing today, Ellen Edwards? As always, good to see you. Such a pleasure that you're here with us. Good morning, good morning. I hope you're well out in Chicago. I know the weather has been moody out there, but hopefully everything is a-okay. Thank you so much for joining in. Good morning to you. Jade in England and Ava Scarlett, how are you doing today? And you say, I'm with Dan. Well, Dan, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining in. And Dan, if this is your first time on Story Time, welcome. We're happy to have you here. And hopefully not the last story that we'll be reading together. Thank you for joining in. Good morning to you, Dan. And of course, good morning to you, Jade. And of course, Ava Scarlett. How are you all doing out in England? Yeah. Good morning to you. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for joining in. Aiken Woodland. And of course, Bob. How are you doing today? Thank you for being here. Glad you are here. Oh, good morning to you, Jacqueline. How are you doing? Thank you so much for joining us. I am glad you're well and happy to listen in from San Francisco. Well, thank you for joining us. Thank you from across the bridge, whether it's San Mateo or Bay Bridge, who knows? Thank you so much for joining in. Good morning to you. Tomaida Zulu out in Lusaka, Zambia. Thank you for joining us. Good morning to you. I am glad you're here and ready for our story today. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining in. Christopher from Idaho. Well, thank you for being here, Christopher. And I hope you're ready for the story that we have for you today. And this one, of course, is written by Debbie Min and illustrated by WAFIQ SEHAT. Good morning to you and welcome. Jennifer Vedder, good morning to you. How are you doing? Always a pleasure to see you, Jen. I am glad you're here. Hope your summer is going well. Thank you so much for joining in. And Jen Vedder, you know I have 4th grade next year, so I hope that advice comes in for what books I need to get. Thank you so much for joining in. Good morning to you. Out in Argentina, how are you doing today? Good to see you, Miss Ingrid. And of course, I hope Patagonia is beautiful today. And I hope you're having yourself a wonderful time. And of course, looking forward to all the collaborations that we'll be doing together shortly. Thank you so much for joining in. Good morning to you. And I was saving this one, saving the best for last. How are you doing, Debbie Min? You say hi, everyone. I'm listening in with you. Well, you're listening in with your niece, Emily. Well, as you may tell, this book that we're reading today is written by Debbie Min, and we are graced to have you here with us. Thank you so much for your presence. Absolutely appreciate you, and thank you for your book and the message it contains. All right, so we'll be getting started with our story. Are you ready? And thank you so much to those joining in. If you're new to Storytime, welcome. See you soon, and hopefully that we will be, reading more stories together. I am glad you are here with us. All right. Well, J. Diamans caught that in time. Paul, thank you. So you're with Dan and Paul today. Well, welcome to Storytime. Let us get started with our yuckiest lunchbox. Are you ready? Oh, I bet you will love it at the end. Here we go. The yuckiest lunchbox. Written by Debbie Min and illustrated by WAFIQ SEHAT. All right, here we go. Oh, thank you, Debbie. I appreciate it. Personal message to me. Thank you. Yay. Oh, thank you. I will read that at the end. Thank you. All right, here we go. It was finally here, Nari's first day of 1st grade. Nari put on her favorite outfit, grabbed her lunchbox, and raced to catch the bus. Oh. Can you feel Nari's excitement? I'm excited with you, Nari. At school, Nari chose to sit right in the middle of her classroom. Her friend Emily waved happily from the next row. It was going to be a great day. Oh. At lunchtime, everyone was hungry, including Nari. She opened her lunchbox. Yes, it was kimbap, her favorite Korean food. Have you had kimbap out there? Nari was just about to take a bite when... What's that green stuff? Someone shouted. It looks slimy. P.U. Another said. Oh, pinching her nose. Smells like something farted. It's like someone farted. Oh my goodness. By now, everyone was looking at Nari's lunchbox. Oh. Nari's face felt hot suddenly. She shut her lunchbox and hurried to the bathroom. She wished she could hide there all day. Oh, poor Nari. When Nari got home from school, she was very hungry. Didn't you eat your lunch? Her mom asked Nari. Nari stayed quiet. Well, how about some rice and kimchi stew? Nari puckered her nose. Can't we eat bologna? That's what Emily always ate. Sure, Dumpling. I will just run out to get some. Aww. But when her mom returned, it was all wrong. This isn't bologna. This is bologna. Oh, Nari threw the package into the garbage and fled to her room. Oh. What's this about, Nari? I just want to be like everyone else. Why does my food look slimy and smell funny? Her mom hugged her. Our food is a part of our culture. It's what your dad and I eat, what your grandparents ate. You love kimbap, don't you? The kids laughed at me, Mom, Nari whispered. Sometimes people make fun of things they've never seen before or don't understand, but they don't always mean to hurt your feelings. Can I please have an American lunch tomorrow? Please? Oh. The next day, Nari's mom packed her a hamburger and no one teased her at lunch. Nari ate American lunch every day that week and none of the kids made fun of her. She was even starting to make friends. But one day, there was an announcement. Nari was very worried. What if the other kids laughed at her strange outfit and funny food? But one day, there was an announcement. Nari was very worried. What if the other kids laughed at her strange outfit and funny food? What if Emily laughed too? Oh. And the announcement was Cultural Appreciation Day. Let's share and celebrate our cultures. Please wear a traditional outfit and bring food. Oh, that sounds amazing. Even though she was scared, Nari wore a hanbok and brought the Korean food her mother had made. Someone pointed and said, "There's that green stuff again." Another girl exclaimed, "Looks like it's from a muddy pond where hippos swim." Oh, no. But then Emily's mom asked, "Can I try it?" Everyone was watching. Nari handed her a seaweed rice roll. Emily's mom took a bite. Oh, it's delicious. So Emily tried it too. This is the yummiest food I've ever tasted. Oh. Then everybody wanted to try kimbap, and soon the kids crowded around Nari to admire her traditional Korean dress. Your dress is so colorful and fancy. Yeah, you look like a princess from a fairy tale. Oh. Nari ran to her mom. They like my dress and food. Sorry I fussed about it, Mom. You were brave to share your culture with the other kids. I am proud of you, Nari. From then on, Nari was happy to have Korean food for lunch, and all was well at lunchtime until, what happened? A new boy named Vikram arrived. When it was time to eat, he opened his lunchbox. What's that? Someone said. Yeah, said another. It looks so lumpy, kind of barfy. Oh. Vikram's ears turned bright red and he shut his lunchbox. Nari picked up her lunchbox and sat next to him. Vikram dropped his head and turned away from her, but Nari stayed put. That looks interesting, she said. Can I try some? Surprised, Vikram opened his lunchbox, broke off a piece of his naan, and gave it to Nari. She took a bite and opened her eyes wide. Nari said loud enough for others to hear. This is delicious. That made the other kids curious, so Vikram shared his naan. And one by one, they all tried it and agreed that his bread was tasty. Thanks, Nari, Vikram whispered. When I first brought lunch from my family's culture, people teased me too, but they don't always mean to hurt your feelings. They don't? Vikram said. Nari thought of what her mom said to her and what Emily and her mother did for her. Sometimes they just don't understand yet, she said. Sometimes they just need to be reminded to stay curious and to try something new. Oh. Oh, the end. Thank you so much, Debbie, for this wonderful book. And of course, I hope you enjoyed it. The illustrations are by WAFIQ SEHAT. Please do find Emily on Instagram. Do find Debbie on Instagram, not Emily. Debbie on Instagram, and of course, WAFIQ SEHAT on Instagram as well. And do follow them and find out more about this book. And hopefully one day we'll be able to have Emily right here on Now I keep going to Emily. We'll have Debbie right here on Story Time, and she can share a little bit more about the book. But absolutely wonderful book, celebrating cultures. And of course, as you can see, a lot of times people don't understand, and we fear what we don't know. We fear what we don't understand. But also an important reminder is how we stand up for others, how we show up for others. As you can see there, when you notice that others are being mean, others are being bullies, how can we show support to our friends? How can we be allies? So thank you so much for sharing this wonderful book with this wonderful message. Absolutely enjoyed it, and I hope you did too. Find it at your local library if you can. Ask for it, but of course find it where you get your books, and do support your local bookstores and get a copy for yourself. Thank you so much for joining me on Storytime today. I hope you enjoyed it, and we all have amazing things to celebrate. And I think just like Debbie says in this book, it says, celebrate what makes you different. Absolutely. It is those things that make you different, that make you special. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime today. Powerful message there coming to us from Debbie, and of course, WAFIQ SEHAT. I'm glad you were able to join us for this one, the Yuckiest Lunch Box. How did that turn out for you? Thank you so much for joining in. Please do join me again tomorrow when we're back for another exciting story, and we will be reading Marin and Her Very Bright Star. This is another touching book, a story of resilience. So please join me tomorrow and let us read this one together. Thank you for being here, and let us see who was with us enjoying that wonderful story. And please do find Debbie on Instagram as well as WAFIQ SEHAT. Thank you so much for joining us today, and welcome to Storytime. Thank you, Jen Veda, one more time. Good morning to you. I am glad you were here with us for Storytime. Good morning, right here in Oakland. Christopher from Idaho, thank you for joining us. And Christopher, please do let us know if anybody else joined in with you today on Storytime. Dan and Paul or you were joining in with Jade and Eva Scarlett today out in England. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you and hope to see you on many more story times. Sheba Chanda and Benjamin out in Lusaka, Zambia. Thank you for joining us. Good morning to you. I am glad you are here. Or is it good evening to you out in Lusaka? Yes, and I know that the Zambians are celebrating right now. One of their biggest soccer players has joined the team in the English Premier League, Leicester City. Congratulations to you, Patson Daka. Thank you so much for making the nation proud. Good morning to you, Terry McLeod. How are you doing? Thank you, thank you. Zambian time, absolutely the best. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Abraham, good morning to you. I hope you caught the story, and I hope you will be going back for some of that beautiful lunch that was shared in here today. Debbie Blusher, good morning to you. How are you doing today? Thank you for joining us. Debbie, do let us know where you were joining in from. Thank you. And a big shout out there coming to you from Christopher. Says, hi, Debbie. Well, thank you. Good morning to you. I'm sure they hear you loud and clear. And you say, we love Korean food. Yay, kimbap. Jen Veda, thank you for sharing. Absolutely. Learning every day. Thank you so much for joining in. I think we all want some, Christopher. We all want some right now. Thank you. And Ingrid and the Reading Club out in Argentina. Good to know that you loved it. I love you back. Thank you so much for being here. I am glad you were here to share that one with us. Thank you. Amanda, you're saying, what a beautifully written book with such understanding and patient main characters. And now I'm hungry for some delicious food too. Wow. Thank you, Amanda West, for sharing. Sarah and Nathan, I hope you're already diving into that delicious food that you have out there. Thank you so much. Always appreciate you. And who else? Debbie, you're saying beautiful. Well, thank you so much for joining in. Absolutely appreciate it. Oh, Jade, I know you join in with your ferrets. Well, we're glad they were here for story time. Thank you for sharing. Always appreciate you. Beautiful story, says Tomaida. Well, it is a beautiful story indeed. The Yuckiest Lunch Box. Please do find it where you get books. And of course, ask for it at your local libraries and see if they have it. Well, good to know, Debbie, that you're joining us from East Palo Alto. Thank you so much for joining in. Good morning to you. Thank you so much. Well, you made my morning. Thank you for being here. Absolutely appreciate you. And I hope whoever is with you, a big hug to all of you. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, thank you. And you say, thanks for the author and illustrator for a great book. This book is a great reminder that we all need opportunities to taste foods from other cultures. Parents and grandparents, think about ways to provide these opportunities in your homes, in your children's schools. Absolutely, right? We need to keep learning, keep challenging ourselves to learn about others. And that is the only way that we're going to have the appreciation that is needed in our communities. Thank you so much for sharing that. Harmony, Beth, always a pleasure having you here on Storytime. Amanda in Seattle, thank you so much for joining in. And of course, Baby Bia, love you. Thank you so much for joining in. Nate, glad you are here. Thank you for joining us. And say, what an awesome book. We love Korean food, Indian food too. Indian food, my favorite for sure. Marlene's Japanese school has traditional food every day so she can get exposed to new delicious meals daily. How about that? Beautiful. Love it. Thank you for sharing all that today. Absolutely appreciate each and every one of you. And Amanda, good to know too that the weather has been getting cooler out where you are. Thank you so much. We've definitely been keeping you in our prayers. Thank you. Baby Bia, have yourself a beautiful nap. Nate, thank you for being here. Harmony, Beth, everybody that joined in, Sarah and Nathan, Tomaida, Zulu, Jade, Eva, Scarlett, and of course the ferrets. We do not forget you. Thank you for being here on Storytime. This has been Storytime for today. Tomorrow, join me for this wonderful book that we have. And a big thank you today to you, Debbie Min, for this wonderful book and definitely teaching me about Korean culture, a little bit about Korean culture today. And I have a duty now to go and dig deeper and find out some more. Thank you so much for being here. Much love from me, and I will see you again tomorrow when we're back with another exciting story. So please Do have a wonderful day, and remember to play those little parts that we can in our communities that make a big, big difference. Thank you so much for being here. Much love, and I will see you again tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Much love. Bye-bye.
All the reading, we just can't wait to be here. Brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be